Serena misses an important milestone. A player actually bonds with a coach over an odd reason. And I'm going to go in. Cole Sportz presents On the Daily. Well, I'm so glad that I am joining you on your iPhone, Android, smart TV, iPad, or any other device that you're watching. Cole Johnson here. Cole Sportz is on tap. And since this is Monday, I don't do topic of the day. I go rapid fire. We'll start out in Oakland, where linebacker, or I should say former linebacker, Bruce Irvin, he's living, I guess you could say, a charmed life. He's being converted to being a defensive end, and that's something he's been wanting to do for a while. He also recently got his degree, and he is bonding with his new head coach, a head coach that's making his second stint with the Raiders, John Gruden. And how are they bonding? Well, Irvin's saying they're bonding because, quote, he talks noise like I talk noise. Close quote. But he didn't use the word noise. Tony Parker is no longer a San Antonio Spur. Yes, you heard me correct. He now is a Charlotte Hornet, so he gets to play for Michael Jordan. He hopefully gets to play for him 2 years, and he's getting a $17 million deal in those 2 years. Well, you pretty much know, Spurs fan, the handwriting is on the wall. Parker was not going to play any extended amount of time. His journey in being an elite point guard is in the past. And he wasn't going to help the team out anytime soon. And I will talk more about the Spurs later. Dame Dollar is happy being in the Pacific Northwest. Yes, you heard me correctly. Damian Lillard doesn't really want to go anywhere. But he has posed the option of, if he had a choice of going in certain places outside of Portland, he would rather go to New York, where he would be pretty much his own man, versus going somewhere like, say, the Lakers. Because God knows Lakers fan wants to superimpose their jersey on any elite player. Well, the reason why Lillard is happy being in the Pacific Northwest, I get it. Portland's the only game, not only in town, but the only game in the region. I mean, the closest team nearest them would be the Kings, and that's in another state. His contract is fat, and then on top of that, his endorsement deals is out the wazoo. So he probably earns anywhere from $40 to $50 million a year. So he does have it good. But the one thing that bothers him is that he can't win. So that means he'll be going somewhere else sometime soon. Serena Williams, playing some inspiring tennis over in Wimbledon, missed an important time in her life. And why would I say that? Here's a woman who has it all, who is the 23-time Grand Slam champion, is going for a 24th Grand Slam. She's healthy now. She has rebounded from her medical injuries following her pregnancy that was complicated to begin with. Well, she's saddened by the fact that she missed her daughter Olympia's first steps. Now, for any parent, of course, that's one of the biggest milestones that you could ever witness in your offspring's life. And obviously she cried about it, and rightfully so. Now, she did bring Olympia with her to England, but she was practicing while the first steps were taken. Don't feel sad, Serena. You'll have many more steps that you'll witness your daughter take before it's over. And if you are as dedicated to being a parent and being a mother as you are being the greatest tennis player that probably we'll ever see, you'll do just fine. Believe me. Oh, and as a quick aside, prayers go out to the Thai soccer team that's trapped in the caves. Hopefully all will come out survivors. We're praying over here at the Cole Sportz family and every VIP. Burn it up! When I return, there's just some lunacy and ludicrous behavior that I just have to go in. Coming up on tomorrow's edition of On the Daily, we're going to go all baseball. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about the All-Star Game since next week will be the All-Star Game taking place in Washington, D.C. We'll talk about who got in and who didn't get in. And sticking with the theme, we're going to go baseball on That Was Then. Take a trip back into time with me back to 1979. What event am I talking about? Well, you just have to tune in to find out. But that's for tomorrow. For today, I don't know how to really set this up, except just saying the pure obvious. So you have a player that's discontented with his team, and he sat out most of the 2018 season because he was misdiagnosed with whatever injury he had. And it's gotten to the point where the team wants to connect with the player, but the player and his handlers are acting like jackwagons. It's time to go in! The player is Kawhi Leonard. The team is the San Antonio Spurs. So all this happened after Leonard, got back from recovering off an injury, played 9 games, and he was sat down again. The Spurs doctors misdiagnosed what was happening with Kawhi, and he wanted a second opinion. And the Spurs organization was like, no, the opinion you received from the team doctor is the opinion you should roll with. You're healthy, get back on the court and start playing again. And Leonard's like, no, I'm not. And it got to the point where during the season, Leonard separated himself from the team and rehabbed far away from San Antonio. How far, you may ask? Well, he went all the way to New York to rehab. And he, of course, got his second opinion. Meanwhile, back in San Antonio, the now deposed Tony Parker wanted to call Leonard on the carpet and say, come on, man, you're healthy. You're healthy. There is nothing wrong with you. Get back on the court and play. And Pop tried to be quiet, but he pretty much was echoing those sentiments, just wasn't being as catty as one Parker was. And most San Antonio Spurs fan was similar into what Parker said. They figured, Leonard was fine. Team doctor said you're fine. Get back on the court and play. Leonard, on the other hand, was like, no, I'm not fine. I got to rehab this injury. And here's where it gets really ridiculous and ludicrous and off the wall insane. So many reports leaked out last week about when Kawhi was in New York. Now he's in Southern California, rehabbing his injury. When the Spurs organization decided to make a trip up to New York. So they get to where Leonard was being housed. And the handlers for Leonard decided to do a James Brown move when he would leave the stage. Now, for those new schoolers, there was a part in the act where when James was pretty much done with the act, he would just kneel down And that would trigger one of his handlers to throw the cape on him. And so to throw a cape on him, he would slowly rise up James, and then they would slowly walk off the stage. And sometimes Bron would whip off the cape and go back to the mic and do some more dances. And other times he would just walk off the stage slowly. I got the sense that is what the Leonard handlers were doing with Kawhi. So they just stopped whatever rehab he was doing, got him up, and got him out the facility. How fifth grader of you! Come on now, grow a set, be a man! Whatever you want to do, actually just stand up and say it yourself. Don't hide behind your uncle to say what you want to do. You're what, 27? 27-year-olds should not hide behind uncles and fathers and mothers to say what he wants to do in life. But no, Kawhi. You want to be silent, you want to take care of yourself, and you let other people speak on your behalf. Stupid! And the Spurs aren't helping their cause any. Because they, on the other hand, could have actually been more open to the process of, okay, well, maybe you need to go seek a second opinion. All right, with our blessing, go seek it. We feel this is what is wrong with you and you're healthy. But if you feel as though you need to have a second opinion, fine. Life example bears this out. So whenever you have someone who gets diagnosed with cancer, sometimes to allay a person's fears or to confirm the inevitable, a doctor will say you need to seek a second opinion to see if this is true or if this is an anomaly. And if it's something different, then we can walk back and go through it again. Leonard, I believe, was told that, but the Spurs was like, BS, get on the court, play, you're fine. Because that's what our doctors are saying. And the toxic masculinity goes on. So Spurs organization decides to say, all right, fine, you're good. We don't care if you're feeling injured or hurt. Get out there because the team doctors are saying fine. And you have another one who's saying, forget you. I'm looking for a second opinion. I'm going to seek it. You don't back me. I don't care what you say or do. That's fine. And then go radio silent. Come on, man. Why? Why go radio silent? You know what to do here. You have a mouth. Speak. And it's so frustrating. This whole thing is like a teacher going to a 10-year-old pouting because the girl that he asked to a dance turned him down. Because it's as if Kawhi wrote a letter saying, I like you, do you like me? Check box, yes, check box, no, check box, maybe. Really? We're this far into your NBA career and you are salty because the team doesn't trust you and the team, in your estimation, doesn't like you? This is adulthood! Come on, Kawhi, say something! This isn't like being mysterious like Prince, the aforementioned late Prince. This isn't a game, son. This is your life. And if you don't want to face it, fine. Walk away from the game altogether. But don't just sit there and let other people speak on your behalf. And for those who say, well, the Spurs should just deal him, period. Here's the problem with that. Who wants to deal with a malcontent who now has months of being a malcontent as proof of why a team wouldn't really want him? And it's to the point where he first wanted to be a Laker, and now Since LeBron's there, he wants his own team. He still wants to be in LA, but he wants to be a Clipper. With no other support whatsoever. He might as well stay in San Antonio. There's more talent there than it is out with the Clippers. No. For punishment, and it may be to the detriment of the Spurs, they should tell Kawhi, look, no deals being made. You could sit out. We don't care. You just have to collect your money sitting. And when you go next year, we will throw you a parade to get you out of town. Because you're being a jackwagon. I'm sorry. The Spurs have built their legacy on drafts, not free agency. They may have pulled off a couple. They may have pulled off a couple of trades. But Pop built that team. Duncan, Ginobili, Parker, Leonard. All of them, along with others like Splitter and Mills, through the draft. So if they figure if they can build through the draft then, and the same organization team is in place, well, they feel they can build through the draft now. So the Spurs, yeah, they would benefit from a trade. But if Kawhi's going to be salty, why justify his pouty, immature, sophomoric behavior by giving him what he wants? Let him sit, and he can sign with someone else with him not playing on the court for a year and a half. If I were the Spurs, I would say, bye-bye, son. It was nice knowing you. Scram. If you happen to like this episode or any episode you have seen or heard thus far, come on, click that button. Subscribe to Cole Sportz on the daily. Monday through Saturday, you get one of these episodes coming right at you. And speaking of something that's coming right at you, how about going on Instagram at Cole Sportz with a Z for the question of the day. And the question of today will center itself around what I went in on. So let me know what you think on that question and anywhere that you see Cole Sportz on social media. I already said Instagram, Cole Sportz with a Z. Facebook is Cole Sportz with a Z. Twitter, it's Cole_Sports with a Z. And online at colesportswithaz.com. And if you feel the need to write an email, you can do so at info at colesportswithaz.com. I want to hear from you. Any questions, any comments, any criticisms, whatever you feel is on your heart to display to this brand, please let it be known, because we enjoy giving you what you want. Well, that's all the time I have. Thank you so much for having me come and be a part of your day. I'm Cole Johnson, representing the sportsman and sportswoman, the intelligent one, I may add, and this is yet another edition of Cole Sportz on the visual and on the daily.